Ready, sir. Okay, alright. Before I open the seventh session of Ngobrol Penelitian on this evening, I'd like to introduce myself first. So, my name is Mutia Sylvia, and I am a student of English Education Department of As'adiyah Islamic University Sengkang. And here I am as a moderator. Here I am as a moderator that will guide this program. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All praises to the God who has given us healthy and opportunity to join on Ngobrol Penelitian program conducted by Institute for Research and Community Service of As'adiyah Islamic University Sengkang or LP2M Lembaga Penelitian dan Pengabdian Masyarakat. The Excellency, the Speaker of Ngobrol Penelitian, Mr. Manifanan Murugesan, MA, MPhil, PhD, the Excellency Director of As'adiyah Islamic University, Gurutta Dr. Haja Indo Santalia, MAG, the respectable the Vice Chancellor of Academic, Gurutta Dr. Andes Ahmad Muktamar, MM, the respectable the Student Affairs and Alumni, the respectable Director of Postgraduate Studies, Gurutta Dr. Haja Umrati SAG MPD, the respectable the Head of Quality Assurance Institute, the Head of Institute for Research Community Service, and Deans of As'adiyah Islamic University Sengkang, the respectable the Heads of Study Program of As'adiyah Islamic University Sengkang, and respectable the participants of we move to for the participants, please mute the microphone, please. All right. Before we move to the opening agenda, I'd like to introduce our program on this evening. So, NGOPI or Ngobrol Penelitian program is initiated by the Institute for Research and Community of As'adiyah Islamic University of As'adiyah Sengkang. This program is held in 7 sessions with different topics and speakers. So, the discussion of Ngobrol Penelitian is a strategic initiative organized by the Institute for Research and Community Service of As'adiyah Islamic University Sengkang to strengthen the research capacity of the academic community. This forum is specifically designed as a place for interactive learning and discussion that focuses on mastering research methodology for students and lecturers with a relaxed academic concept. NGOPI is present as a warm and productive discussion space, creating an conducive learning atmosphere for sharing knowledge, experiences, and best practice in the world of research. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to open the 7th session of Ngobrol Penelitian program on this evening, let us pray by reciting Surah Al-Fatihah. It is started. Finish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the first agenda, let us listen to the opening speech will be delivered by the Vice Chancellor 3 of As'adiyah Islamic University Sengkang, Gurutta Dr. Haji Syamsul Bahri SS MSI MM. The time is yours.
Ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Prof.
Okay. Peace be upon you all. dear speaker, respected lecturers, and all my dear students at As'adiyah Islamic University. First of all, let us thank Allah Almighty for giving us health and the chance to join this important seminar, how to write a scientific article. Peace and blessing be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him, who has become a guiding light of knowledge for all of us. To begin this speech, I would like to say that I am very happy and highly appreciate this seminar, which is organized by LPPM. This reflects our university's strong commitment to developing a culture of academic research and scientific writing among both students and lecturers. This seminar is very relevant to one of our academic priorities at UNISAT, which is strengthening research methodology for both students and lecturers. We want more of our academic community to write, publish, and contribute real ideas to the world of science. Writing a good scientific article is not just about fulfilling a campus requirements. It is actually one of the key foundations for our nation's progress. Through strong research and quality writing, we can build ideas, solve problems, and contribute to help our region, even our country, grows smarter and stronger in the future. My dear students, knowledge is one of the main assets of our great nation, and it begins with critical thinking and clear writing. So I want to encourage all of us, students and lecturers, to be more serious and more active in learning how to do good research and how to do express ideas in scientific writing. And I hope that in the future, more and more high quality scientific articles will be published by our beloved students and lecturers. I also want to give my sincere thanks to our speaker today. Even though we just meet online instead of in person, we truly appreciate your presence and the knowledge you are sharing with us. This seminar is also part of the ongoing collaboration between UNISAT, Universitas As'adiyah, and Darul Ulum Islamic University of Lamongan, which officially begin with our MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, signing in Malaysia last November 2024. Hopefully this cooperation will grow and continue to benefit both institutions, especially in research and academic development. And before I end this speech, I would like to say to our speaker, Sir Murugesan, PhD, I hope one day our meeting will not only be virtual, but also in person. We look forward to having you visit us here at UNISAT, so we can talk more deeply and hopefully enjoy a cup of coffee together.
Yes,
real.
yes, Prof. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Prof.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Inshallah. We can enjoy a cup of coffee in real, not only in daring or virtual. Yeah, just tell us your schedule, your time. Inshallah, we are waiting
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
And also someday, who knows, our lectures at UNISA have leisure time also can visit your university.
Yes.
So
Yes,
we
Professor.
can
Always.
discuss
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
inshallah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Always
Mister.
welcome. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
I
Prof.
think
Thank you.
that's all my welcome speech, and see you. I do hope you all that to join this seminar until the end of. Thank you for your kind of attention.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well,
Waalaikumsalam.
thanks to Guru Tau for the meaningful opening speech. And the next agenda, before we move to the main agenda, it is accepting material from the speaker. I'd like to read the curriculum vitae of the speaker first. So, our speaker on this evening, Dr. Manifanan Murugesan, is head of Tamil Language and Literature Program at Singapore University of Social Sciences (SUSS). He is also a well-known literary critic, and his reviews have been published in prestigious journals like the Indian Literature, which is printed by Sahitya Academy. He holds research degrees and MPhil and PhD from Center of Indian Languages, Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. He has also taught Tamil language to postgraduate students of non-Tamil speakers in the same university. He is also a visiting lecturer at the Open University of Sri Lanka. His articles have been published in reputed national and international publications. He is an editorial member for a few foreign academic journals. His interests include Tamil language and literature, Tamil language teaching, Subramania Bharati's writing, and eco-criticism. Well, that's all about our amazing. Well, I think that all right because the speaker has been here. So let us listen to the material will be delivered by Mr. Manifaman Murugesan, MA, MPhil, PhD, under the materials title "How to Write a Scientific Article." So the time is yours, sir.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Vanakkam. It's my great pleasure attending this meaningful session organized by UNICEF, and and I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks for introducing me to the audience, and Honorable Vice Chancellor of UNICEF, LPPM, and organizer for this conference. And thank you very much for your kind introduction, Miss Sylvia. So now I would like to share my thoughts on research paper. So shall I share my presentation slides? So yeah, today we are going to see how to write good research papers. Otherwise, in another word, we may say that understanding humanities and social science research. So actually, this because I come from a humanities background, I teach language, especially focused on Tamil language and second language teaching, and teaching Tamil to non-Tamil speakers. So my area of research is focused on humanities, but our university is focused on social sciences. So that's why we in Singapore we have 6 autonomous university. Each universities, they have their own expertise, especially NUS, the well-known NUS. They are good for all, even medical science, computer science, etc. And NTU, Nanyang Technology University, of course, they are focused on technical courses, we are focused on social sciences. So that's why my presentation also focus humanities and social science research. How the research papers written in the field of humanities and social sciences. Writing research paper in the field of humanities and social sciences requires a systematic approach that emphasizes critical thinking, thorough analysis, and clear articulation of ideas. To begin, it is essential to select a compelling and relevant topic that not only plug your interests, but also contribute to existing scholarship. As our Honorable Vice Chancellor shared, it is very, very important, especially we are living in the 21st century. It is very important we are doing very meaningful research. And the research, what we do should be help develop our nation. So here, our Honorable Vice Chancellor has stressed this is the need for true research, the meaningful research, which helps national building. So although we are coming from humanities and social science background, but we should involve interdisciplinary research, especially during the COVID time. Many of the language experts had a great opportunity to involve meaningful research, especially analyzing the medical data and translating the medical data into their own language, which can help the public to make awareness of the respiratory diseases and so many kind of diseases, so that it make very good awareness among the people, so that the nation and the people of any country, they can know the pros and cons of the diseases. So it is very important we do involve in interdisciplinary research. Although we might be a humanities background, maybe we are from science background, maybe we are coming from a social science background. So conducting a comprehensive literature review is a crucial when you write a research paper. Conducting a comprehensive literature review is a crucial, as it helps to situate your research within the broader academic disclosure and discourse within academic discourse and identify gaps that your work may address. So we need literature review. Without literature review, you cannot do any research, because your research is distinct from the other research. So you have to do what kind of research has been done in your field of study. Then only you can proceed to the research area that you would like to focus. So once you have established a solid foundation of literature review, develop a clear thesis statement that encapsulates the main argument of your paper. This statement should guide your research and writing process, ensuring that each section of your paper or your research paper aligns with your central claim. Central claim means maybe it's kind of your hypothesis. As you draft your paper, pay careful attention to the structure, typically comprising an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Each body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence that introduces the main idea, followed by evidence and analysis that supports your argument. So the literature review, and then we had the brief introduction how we are going to write the paper. We have already the thoughts we have, but additional to this there should be a proper citation of source is vital to uphold academic integrity. These days you can see online, if you go to the Google or Internet Explorer, whatever the browsers you use, you can have a lot of ideas, lot of thoughts. There are many articles are available, research papers are available, but whatever we refer, it is very important, especially when you are in academic, you have to be very honest. You need to maintain the academic integrity. Academic honesty is very important. Even if you take a one word from other researcher, you should acknowledge. That is the very important thing in academic, in the field of academic. So the upholding academic integrity and provide readers with the means to verify your claims. Whatever you claim, whatever you argue in your research paper, you must acknowledge the person or the writer of the research paper you have referred. It maintains the academic integrity and it provides readers with the means to verify your claims. So that's why many researchers, the academicians, the teachers, the lecturers, the professors, they always say that don't refer to Wikipedia. Wikipedia page is anyone can write Wikipedia page, anyone can edit. So we cannot ensure that the Wikipedia data is 100% of facts. There is a untrue, there is a misleading content. So we should not refer to the Wikipedia kind of sources. So that's why we need to read more research papers to maintain the academic integrity. Finally, revising and editing your work is essential to enhance clarity, coherence, and overall quality, ensuring that your research paper meets the rigorous standard expected in the humanities and social sciences. So this is the area, this is the brief idea of what I am going to share with you all today. So let me share this is the outline of my thought today. Introduction to research papers, then formatting your research papers, then structuring the introduction, then fourth is detailing the method section, fifth is presenting results and discussions, six, enhancing research quality. So these all six processes is involved. So these six process, if you adopt these six process, your research paper will be an excellent paper and no journal can reject. So that's why that's why I adopted these six important steps to write a best research papers. Okay, then now we are going to the first one, introduction to research paper. What does the research paper means? What is a research paper? The research paper is formal academic essay that presents original research and analysis on a specific topic. On a specific topic, it requires concise, clear, and third person writing. So you cannot use I, we, this kind of writings you should not use in the research papers. A research paper is a formal academic essay that presents original research. Do you think in 21st century there is a possibility of producing original research? Yes, it is possible. Of course, in the academic, they have to maintain the academic integrity. And in the field of science, of course, each and every research actually, you cannot copy or you cannot plagiarize, you cannot collusion, because the science field, you have to produce new research with factual, experimental, then it should be a written form. But in humanities and social science, someone can copy others' work, and then they can produce. But these days, actually, after the AI arrival of AI, there are a lot of opportunity to to uh, to use other works, and people don't acknowledge. But it is very crucial when you are an academician. It is very crucial that you should acknowledge any thoughts of other people and other research, researcher and other research papers. So the original research, whatever you write, it should be a original research and analysis on a specific topic. You may choose any topic. Maybe you can choose one writer from Bahasa Indonesian and one writer from Bahasa Malay. So you can compare two authors. So that will be a new area of research, and you do what are the writings they have wrote, whether they wrote all kind of writings like short story, poems, essays, journalist work, whatever it is. You can divide on the subtopic and you can compare. So it requires concise. Concise means you need to be a brief. You should whatever you write, it should be a brief and clear thoughts. Whatever you write, it should be a clear thoughts, and the writing should be in third person writing. So I would like to say this kind of thing you should not bring into the research papers. Then the importance of research papers. What is the importance of the research papers? Research papers are crucial for advancing knowledge. That's what our Honorable Vice Chancellor has said. Research papers are crucial for advancing knowledge. They help students refine analytic skills and contribute to their respective fields. So the young minds have a lot of thoughts and they have a lot of energy, and being a lecturer or being a professor, being a researcher, you should give the proper way to the student, proper knowledge to the student, especially provide them analytic skills and applied knowledge. It is very important, especially when you involve in research. Then the key elements of a research paper is a clear purpose. What is the purpose of your research paper? What is the purpose of your research? It is very important. Then background literature. Background literature, why it is important? It is important because your research is distincting from other researcher, maybe other research papers. Then we need a hypothesis. Without hypothesis, you cannot write any paper. So we need hypothesis and a detailed methodology. You need a detailed methodology. How you are going to write the research paper, how you collect the data, and what are the methodology you are going to use, how you will provide the result, and then discussion. So these are the very important thing when you are writing a research papers. So these are the basic and general tips when you are writing a research papers. Then when you come to the next section, so this is a be concise, then write in third person, use correct verb and tense. See, be concise. Be concise means to be a very brief. Present information, whatever the information you provide, it should be straightforward. There should not be any hidden meaning. Present information straightforwardly. Avoid unnecessary words. You should avoid unnecessary words and repetition to keep the research clear and focused. In order to keep your research clear and focused, you need to avoid unnecessary words. Unnecessary words may be like uh, like uh, unnecessary words means like you are telling praising somebody. Praising words you should not use, and the repetition, the thoughts should not be whatever you write in the paragraph, there should not be any repetition. Once you said a thought or idea, then you should not repeat on further topics. Then write in third person. Yes, I said the write in third person is very important, because why you need to write in third person? Especially you should not use I or we when discussing research procedure. For example, rather than writing, for example, what I say, I surveyed 35 participants. Instead of that, when you write the third person manner, the survey was administered to 35 participants. So the first sentence was I surveyed 35 participants, but that when you write that the third person narrative should be the survey was administered to 35 participants. So your research paper should be always focused third person narrative. Okay, then and using the first person can make it appear more like a personal narrative. Personal narrative means you're telling that your own kind of story. So if you use like I and we, that kind of first person narratives, when you use the research quality should not be there. So that's why we need to maintain the research quality, and we need to use the third person narratives. This type of writing may seem awkward at first, so try to pay close attention to the wording throughout the paper. So the whatever you use in the research paper, it should be third person narratives. And use correct verbs and tense. Students are often unsure of whether to use the past or present verb tense when writing about research. There are a couple of general rules to follow regarding verb tense usage. For example, since the study has already been continued, discuss it in the past tense. If the research has already been completed, already conducted, if there, for example, if you are doing your research is involved data collection from students, maybe data collection from public, data collection from university students, it can be anything. So when it's completed, maybe you need to use past tense. Okay, for instance, one could say it was predicted that the observation was conducted like this. So it should be past tense. Since the theories and the current research paper still exist, still your research paper and your research work is ongoing, then discuss them in the present tense. For example, one could say research shows that, or according to children are more likely to show aggression when. So this kind of statement, if your research continues, then you should use the present tense. If your research already has been completed, then you should use past tense when you write in a research paper. Then it is very important, write accurately about the research. The research, whatever research may be the topic you have chosen, write accurately about the research. Write about the actual happened instead of what should have happened. You should say actually what happened. Your focus should be what happened, what already completed. You should have, and you should not use the assumption. It should have happened. It should have. It could have happened. It would have happened. This kind of thing you should avoid. Research result don't always turn out the way one hopes. One hopes means the hypothesis. We might have hypothesis, but when you do the research, maybe when you collect data, when you collect the data analysis, then when you sit and write, then whatever the prediction, whatever the hypothesis you had earlier, it cannot be sometimes it cannot be accurate. So in this case, actually the result don't always turn out the way one hopes, but that is to be expected. So editors don't accept the research papers based on whether or not a research achieves the expected result, but rather how well the researcher conducted and understood the study. So they focus whether you have achieved the result or not. They don't focus. The editors of the journals, the editor of the books, editor of the research papers, they don't expect that whatever the hypothesis you have stated, it should not be, there might not be a exact result. So that is still accepted. So that's why you cannot say 100% I am achieved the whatever the hypothesis I had, I have achieved the result. You cannot say that. So still the paper will be accepted. In the result are not favorable, explain possible causes. Why the hypothesis is not accepted? You should explain why your hypothesis is not accepted. Is there any errors, and what could be improved in the future research? So when you state this kind of statement in your research papers, then it is very clear that your paper, whatever the research you have done, it is very clear and it will be accepted by the editors and the book editors. Okay, then for example, so in the field of social sciences, mostly they use APA format. Mostly, of course, you all know as university students, you all know this APA format is widely used for social science research. For language and humanities oriented, most of our we adopt MLA format, modern language association format. So So there is for the science stream there are many journals, and for Chicago University's research methodology. So it can be wider range of citations are available, but you have to choose. You have to choose which field you are working. So then the ethical consideration is very important for research articles. When you write research articles, or maybe for researcher. For ethical consideration, accurate reporting is very, very important. Report what actually happened in the study without altering result to match expected outcomes. What here they say is, we have hypotheses, but we do data collection from public, maybe students, maybe the community, maybe some other institutions. But in order to support our hypothesis, sometime what with the researcher will do, they will alter the factual, the real data that may expected the outcomes. So that's why they say ethical consideration. Accurate reporting is very important being a researcher. When you write a research paper, it is very important that you provide accurate result, accurate reporting. You should not align to your hypothesis. You should not align the result, the factual result, to your hypothesis. So this is the very important thing. Then proper citation is very important. As earlier we discussed, the academic integrity. Being a researcher, we need to maintain a academic integrity. Accurately cite all sources using parenthetical in-text citation, because those days we use endnote format. Endnote means at the end of the paper we include we include the endnote and footnote. Earlier we use footnote, but these days most of the formats we adapt is in text citation to avoid plagiarism. Whatever the information, whatever the data you take from other researcher, other authors, you should provide in text citation at the wherever you provide the points, the thoughts of other authors. You should provide in text citation. This will help you to avoid plagiarism. It should help avoid the plagiarism. Then credible sources. Yes, earlier I shared there are lot many online sources. There are lot many resources available online, but all online resources are not credible sources. That's why we, being a writer, being a researcher, we should be very careful when you use the credible sources. We always must adapt credible sources, especially use only peer-reviewed sources. Peer-reviewed. Peer-reviewed means there will be a multi-reviewed sources, online psychology or sociology journals, textbooks, and reference books. These referred journals, the peer-reviewed sources, they cannot accept any. They cannot do any without factual check. So that is very authentic sources. So we should always refer to peer-reviewed journals, online psychology or sociology journals. Or if it's language oriented, then you have to refer the books, the textbooks, and reference books. These are authentic sources. Mostly the textbooks and reference books are published by well-known publishers. Maybe sometime the government they publish the textbook for school students, college students. When the college or university they give the textbook, it's more authentic. They cannot just copy and paste, and they cannot provide they cannot provide any materials. So these are the credible sources. So when you read these credible sources, then you can use that kind of sources to your research. Okay, this is very important when you write a research paper or being a researcher. Ethical consideration is very, very important. Okay. Then formatting your research papers. So formatting research papers, as I said earlier, the social science, the standard format adopted for APA format. Introducing the APA format is a standard for social sciences and includes guidelines for paper and the layout, the headings, then citations and reference, and title. And title, how should give the title? Include the title of the paper, your name, and the name of your institution. Here I just give only one example. I don't go to the MLA format or maybe Chicago University format, maybe other university format. I only focus the APA format here just to save our time. Okay, then the title page, you should use the title of your research, then your name, then your affiliation of your institution. Then the abstract, the following page, there should be a abstract, a brief summary, 150 to 250 words, outlining the paper's purpose, methods, the results, and the discussion. So this should be focused on the APA format when you write the research papers. So now it's a very important area where we are going to see there is a main section of your research paper. So earlier I said, when I started my presentation, I said there are 6 steps it's involved, but I have told when you write the research paper, there are 4 things you need to consider. One is introduction, then the methodology you have used for your research, then the outcome of your research, then discussion. So these 4 is important. First, introduction. How the research introduction should be. How to write your research introduction. Introduce the topic. Maybe the topic may be the hypothesis of your idea. The topic may be the hypothesis of your idea. Introduce the topic, state the purpose of the study, purpose of your research. Elaborate the purpose of your study and provide review background literature. Review background literature means it is very important when you review the background literature, then only you can distinct then how vary your research from the previous research and present the hypothesis. Then you should include a hypothesis. So sometime when in the academic, when you write the academic essays, even the when the school students or maybe college students, they go for competition for essay writing, they sometimes they use exaggeration words, exaggeration statement at the beginning of introduction. So in the academic, you should always avoid exaggeration wording, especially. So in the introduction part, you should not quote anyone's statement, and you should not bring any exaggeration into the introduction part of your research. And sometimes we use in the introduction part when you, because the hypothesis might be might have taken the hypothesis from the researcher, the research papers, maybe books that they have published already. So at that time, actually you need to include part of your introduction. Apart from that, you should not include any quotation, any exaggeration wording into the introduction part. Then the second part is methodology. The method you are going to use. For humanities, what kind of methodology you are going to use? For detail how to study, for the methodology detail how to study was conducted, including subsections of participants, design and measures you have used for your research, and the procedure you have followed for your research. These are the method you should write when you are writing the research papers. The third one is result. First you have wrote the introduction, then the methodology you have used for your research, then you wrote, then result. Present the findings of your study without interpretation, using tables or figures if needed. Especially when you provide the result, especially in the social science, if your social science research is involve interviews, maybe questionnaires, if you involve the data collection, then you need straightforward actually what are the findings you have achieved. You need to provide the result. You no need to give any interpretation. When you involve interpretation is the next step, discussion. Now is a time where you need to interpret the result. discuss whether the hypothesis was supported, and address the significance of the findings. So this four thing is very important when you write a research paper, when you do involve in research. When you concentrate this area, definitely you can write a better research paper. Okay. Then the introduction. So now there, I think many of us may have a question that, yeah, best research paper, how many word it should contain, how many page it should be there. So it's a basic question. So yeah, very good research paper, it should have at least 3,000 words. If it has 3,000 words without no exaggeration word, no repetition, then it's a very good paper. So being very good research paper, it should be 3,000 words. So here the page you can calculate. So the introduction part should be 400 to 500 words. Sorry, 400 to 500 words. The introduction should be help readers understand why your paper is important. So when you write any paper, it's a new knowledge, new findings. Anyhow, your research is going to help the community, or it going to help our nation. So that's why you need to justify. You need to justify the readers why your paper is important, why your research is important. You should elaborate that. Then within the first few sentences, state the purpose of your study. Why you are doing this research paper, why you are writing this research paper, why you are doing this research study. Then what is your hypothesis, then purpose, experimental design and procedure. Then what is the rationale? If you do all this thing, then what you are going to achieve? These are the very important thing when you write introduction. Then provide a wider context and summarize what the existing research documents say. So you have to differ. You have to tell the distinct from the existing research or already published papers, or how it vary from the previous research. Then make your text concise. Whatever you write, it should be concise in a brief manner. You should provide in a brief manner. Don't use subheaders. Subheadings you should not use when you write introduction part. Write in the present tense. As earlier I said, write in present tense. If the research has been completed, then write in past tense. Present tense and active voice when suitable. Present tense and active voice, it should be there. Then apply key terminology from your title. So whatever you write, whether in its introduction or body paragraph or maybe conclusion or methodology, always whatever you write, it should focus your topic. Yeah, you always relate the statement to the topic. That's why they say apply key terminology from your title of your research paper, title of your research. It's very, very important you apply the key terminology when you write introduction, body paragraph, sub paragraph, subheadings, conclusion, whatever it is. So you must use the key terminology. At the end of your introduction, state the purpose of your study and the rationale of your approach. Then the reader often go to the end of the introduction for conclusive clarity. So introduction itself, they will find what are the aim of your research paper and the conclusion we are going to provide. So it is very important. The introduction should be focused on the topic you have chosen, and it should be concise and it should be brief enough. Then answer the question, why did you do this study? Why did you do this research? What does it add to the existing literature? If this, what are the benefits this research paper going to achieve? So everything is included into the introduction part. The introduction should be 400 to 500 words. Then now methods. As earlier I said, a good research paper should contain minimum 3,000 words. So the method should be introduction should contain 4 to 500 words. The method should contain 700 to 800 words. The methods chapter are factual receipts rather than narrative essay. So when you use the methodology, for example, science, they use experimental methodology. For literature and social science, they use like comparative analysis kind of thing. So when they use the methodology, it is actually the factual receipts, factual data. So factual data is not narrative. Narrative can be discussion part, you can narrative, but the methodology part should be, everything should be, whatever the data you collected, you should provide factual data. Okay, the methods chapter are factual receipts rather than narrative essays. Focus on the essential parameter of replication of your study. So when you use the 700 to 800 word, it should be 100% factual. Then save discussion of your discussion chapter. You should not discuss anything here. You cannot interpret anything here. Actually, you need to interpret for the next portion, the next step. Save results for the results chapter unless there are some preliminary results that were relevant to shaping your design. If it's very important to share, it's important you share some kind of factual in the methodology chapter. You are allowed to share, but most of the factual data, just you have to, whatever the data you collected, you have to provide factuals. You should not provide any interpretation. You should not provide any narratives in this part until unless if it is important. Okay, it's important for some preliminary results. Then how was the study done? In the methodology part, you need to say how the research was done. There are many processes involved when you do research. So how your study was done, how your research was done, what kind of materials were used, who were the study sample population, whether they are students or the public or domestic workers or skill-based workers, what it can be anything. So what kind of materials you have used for this data, whether you are use online data, whether statistics or population data, whether you have used literature of the author. So you have to elaborate that what kind of materials you use. Then what are the sample population? For your data collection, if your research is involved with the data collection, the data where you collected, whether you have collected young children's, or whether you collected school children's, whether you collected university students, whether you collected in the public, whether you collected elderly people, whether you collected from government servants. So you have to elaborate the methodology part. Then what is the perspective or retrospective study, and was study population randomized? How you choose? For example, for example, uh, for example, the COVID, it's affected each and every country. So we have millions of people, especially in India and Indonesia. We have millions of people. We cannot collect the complete data. So in this case, we have to go for random data collection. So in this case, maybe for my research, if my research is focused on COVID related issues, well, COVID time, many people affected, especially many of them are isolated, and they got their well-being has been compromised. So their mental well-being is affected. So for mental well-being, I choose 1,000 people. So you need to say how you decide whether I collect the data from all range of age groups, like 10 to 15, 20 to 30 year olds, 30 to the 40-year-old, all age group involve, and the data might be collected from 1,000 people. So you should say the random. Why you choose the randomized data collection? Then how the data is collected. For example, what what kind of data you collect, when you collected the data, where you collected. This kind of data is very important. Then how was it structured? When the questionnaire, you might have like you have 50 questionnaire, maybe 30 questionnaire. Then how you structure, like example, measurements, treatments, and controls. What kind of controls you have used? What kind of treatment has been given? So this kind of thing is very important. Then how it was carried out, protocols that others can replicate. Protocols means some official data you are not allowed to collect. What we say, confidential data cannot be shared. So there is a protocols. So there is a protocols in collecting when you collecting the data. So these all involved in the methodology. How the data was analyzed and statistics, tests, and summary methods of your result, but don't present and discuss the result. Especially when the methodology part, you should not discuss anything. Just give the actual methodology you have adopted, the actual the factual data you have collected. You have to uh, provide the summary. That's it. Include ethical considerations such as passion concern. It is very important. When you collect data, it is involved their name, their IC name, maybe the passport name, the patient disease details. This all involved. So there should be a confidentiality, confidential identification is involved. So when you involve in research, especially social science related research, you should always be very conscious that you are not using their confidential data for your research. So that's why we need their consent. It can be a patient consent, maybe it's a doctor consent, maybe the government consent, maybe the students consent. Each and every research should involve the consent. You have to seek their approval before you disclose the data. So the data, whatever the data you share in your research paper, it should not be include the personal identification number. The person name, this kind of thing should be avoided. This is the main ethical consideration. Okay, then the method itself, there are so many other steps is involved, like use figures, because when you do the social science research, there are a lot of data, so that data you cannot write like 100 page, 200 page you cannot provide. So it will help if the figure, using the figures, tables, diagrams, it will help to control the number of pages. So to present your method, but don't force their use. When you can summarize the methods in just a few sentences. Avoid repetition. So the figures, tables, diagram, it should not be repeated. It should not be repeated. That's why they say avoid repetition. For non-essential data or content that cannot be captured in your main text or image, such as surgical videos or large data set, you may provide supporting information. Supporting information means end of the research paper. You may provide this kind of data. Avoid detailing commonly known standard procedure. You should not, for medical kind of research, when the researcher they read the article, they know the some kind of common procedure. So that kind of details you should not involve. You should not write into your methodology. Just refer to their standard names, maybe like abbreviation names, shorten name. So when you give the abbreviation or maybe short name, that is well known in the, for humanities, they know some common. There are some common terminology, common abbreviation. Social science, there is a common abbreviation terminology is used in medical field, in science field. Each and every field they use the terminology. The terminology plays a key role into the research. So that if you have opportunity that kind of use that kind of commonly known abbreviation, then just adapt that and use everywhere. So use subheaders to outline groups and procedures. Then it can be a difficult to write this chapter in active voice. So methodology, it is very difficult to write active voice. So that's why they say write in the past tense or use passive voice when necessary. Then answer all the question, what was done and how it was done. Answer all the question means what was done in this research, how it was done. So it should everything include in the methodology part, the methods part. Okay. Then we are going there. Then we are moving to the results. We did the data collection. We wrote the introduction part. Then we completed the methodology. Now we need to provide the narratives. So the narratives should be like interpretation should be 700 to 800 words. Provide a linear documentation of your study result and highlight significant outcomes, including indication of statistical significance. So you need to provide the linear documentation of your result. Whatever the findings you have achieved in your research, you should highlight this. Then try to objective and save interpretation of your discussion chapter. Then use figures, tables, and diagram to present your result, but don't force their usage of summarize. Then highlight what question were addressed in each result. Provide data related to your study. Don't change data or its presentation to show things that you did not do. Sometimes our hypothesis is different, but we are not able to achieve the result. Maybe we are unable to achieve the result. In order to achieve the result, we should not align any data. That's what they say. Then write in past tense. Then answer the question, what was the findings of your research? So it should come in the result part. Now it's a discussion. Discussion might be a conclusion. The conclusion should be 900 to 1000 words. This is for social science kind of research. When you involve the humanities based research, we are not necessary to write 900 to 1000 words, because there will be a very few key findings, maybe very few key summaries, so we cannot write. So this is an exception for humanities and language oriented research papers. For social science and science stream, definitely the discussion part should be 900 to 1000 words. It's basically 1/3 of your 3000 word limit. Summarize in the discussion part, summarize your conclusion on the basis of your findings, but avoid simple repetition. You should not repeat anything. Whatever the findings you find, you need to provide summary, and you should avoid the repetition, and it should be 2 to 3 sentences. Focus on why rather than how. You need to why, then how. You should avoid how kind of answering, how kind of narratives. How do you find, how do your findings compare to other studies? Earlier we said the literature review. So the same manner, how do your findings compare to other studies? Then what are the implication of your readers? Some researchers, some readers read your research papers, and what kind of understanding they are going to have, whether they have negative implications or positive implications, whether they will find reading your research papers in good manner or negative manner. So this kind of implication is very important. So that's why when you write the summary conclusion, it should be very focused, and it should be reader focused. Then what is the link between the original purpose and conclusion of your study? We have the aim of our research, then conclusion of your study, it should be focus. What are the limitation of your study? Include a constructive paragraph of 2 to 3 sentences to address any limitation of your methods and findings. Sometimes you don't have enough data to do better research. Maybe you do. Sometimes you may not have enough fundings money to do good research. So these are the limitation when you involve in research. It's unexpected. Sometimes the expenditure may go very high. So this is beyond our control. So you need to explain the limitation when you are doing the research, when you are writing these research papers. This was the limitation you have followed. So you need to elaborate that. Write in the present tense for conclusions, especially facts, and the past tense when you reference work done in the past by you or maybe others. So you need to use the conclusion part should be in the present tense. If if your findings align with some other readers, maybe the past research, then you need to use past tense. Try to summarize your conclusion, and it is important your last 2-3 sentences. The last 2-3 sentences is very, very important. It should be try to summarize. Avoid ending with an academic lunch, such as further research is necessary to clarify this complex issue. This kind of sentence you should avoid. Instead, try to address what should be done next. Maybe the next research should focus this kind of disease. If it involves a disease, then you should say, you should not state like further research is necessary to clarify this complex kind of issues. You should not use this kind of sentence. You should say, try to address what should be done next. Answer the question, what was concluded, why it is important, why your research is important, and how it was concluded. These are the research papers structure. There are 4 things involved: introduction, then methods, then results, then discussion. These 4 things is involved when you write a research papers. Okay, then we are going to move how to format your research papers. It is very important. You may have a very good data, maybe you might have a very good introduction, maybe you might have used very good methodology, maybe you have achieved very good result, but it is very important you properly format your research papers. So when you format the research papers, there are 2 important things is involved. One is headings and subheadings, and another font and spacing. Headings and subheadings use centered and bolded subheadings for each section to provide structure and clarity. So it is very important when you write a research paper, it is very important is providing headings and subheadings, and the headings and subheadings should be centered and folded font of subheadings each section to provide clear structure and clarity. Then what kind of font and what are the space is given to the research paper? It depends on if you use MLA format or Chicago University format, or if you use APA format, it differs. Then if you adopt the APA format, follow the APA guidelines. The spacing might be 1.5, sometimes they say 2.5. So whatever the spacing guidelines is given, just adopt it should be the from introduction to the conclusion, it should be the same format. The font size also should be the same format. So font type, size, and double spacing throughout the paper, everything you need to adapt. You should not adapt too many. For introduction part, I adapt APA format. Then methodology format, I adopt APA format. Then the result and conclusion part, I adopt MLA format. It should not be there. Or Chicago University format. If you adopt one standard guidelines, you should align A to Z. It should align with the same format. Okay. Then structuring the introduction. You completed your introduction. Then how to structure the introduction? Problem identification. Okay. You need to identify a problem. Identify and explain the problem being explored. Highlight its importance. Okay. When you do the introduction, already you completed, but you need to identify this. Identify the problem, identify and explain the problem being explored, or what are the results you are going to achieve in this research. You need to highlight the importance of your research. Then study objectives. Clearly state the purpose of current research. concisely after describing the problem, and it's important. Once you highlighted the problem and the importance of your research, then you clearly say the objective of this research. Okay, it is very important, this introduction part. Then the background literature. When you provide the background literature, it is relevant to be a current study. Whatever the research you do, it should be appropriate. You should provide the current the exact literature review. Include relevant background information to build the case of current study. Then citing previous work. Accredit all used resources and earlier works. That's why when you do research, especially MPhil, PhD work, when you involve, you need to provide almost 30 to 40 pages of literature review. The literature review helps a researcher or the writer of a research paper. It helps to provide broader knowledge, wide range of knowledge, to use all the information to write a right analytical way. That's why we need a lot of readings. Without readings, we cannot write any research papers. So that's why it is very important when you involve in research or when you writing a research paper. It is very important. We must read the related all kind of research. The related research, the past research should be included. That's why the background of literature is very important, and you must acknowledge and you must use all resources and earlier works, yeah, in the area of your research involved. Okay, the topics you have involved. Then hypothesis formation. How to write the hypothesis? So it is the definition of hypothesis is very important, especially hypothesis details predictions based on background literature. It's a prediction. For example, I take two because I'm a humanities based person. So I know two languages because Bahasa Indonesian and Bahasa Malay is both involved. Little bit difference, not much difference. Uh, but both country has been colonized. Both country has been colonized. So people of this both country, they have a lot of common cultures, common similarities. Maybe it's a food, the way of dressing, maybe their economy. It's all when they colonized, they were affected. So during that time, maybe two different author of two different country, Malaysia, maybe in Indonesia, two authors, they lived during a colonized period, and they have same kind of impact of suffering by rulers. So they need freedom. They most of their writings, there might be a agitations against the colonized people. Maybe uh, they might have wrote against the colonized people. So there might be a common similarity between two authors of two nations. So my hypothesis might be, so they although they lived two different country, but they were suppressed by colonized. So both authors writings might have nationalism thoughts, nationalism, patriotism, patriotism. They might have the patriotical thoughts, maybe the thoughts towards the nationalism. So this is my hypothesis. So based on this hypothesis, I compare both authors' work, whatever the writings they wrote by two different authors of two different country. Then I write on my papers. So the same way. That's why the hypothesis is important. Sometimes my hypothesis is that these two different authors, they had patriotical thoughts, maybe nationalist thoughts. But when I do research, when I analyze the data, sometime one author much better patriotic in his narratives compared to other authors. So this kind of findings might be there, but I am unable to achieve. Both authors has very good patriotic feelings towards their nation, towards their language. But so these are the possible hypotheses. So then sometimes the result may not achieved. Maybe some for like Bahasa Indonesian author might be very rigorous, very radical in his thoughts. Maybe the Malaysian author, maybe he is not that patriotic. So it can go anyway. It is not 100% achieved. So hypothesis is basically a predictions. It's not the factual one. It's a prediction. We are moving forward to the prediction. Then we are able to achieve some kind of result. So the hypothesis is very important for any research. Okay. Then, for example, here the hypothesis, it was predicted that older children will show greater behavioral inhibition than younger children. So this is kind of social science kind of hypothesis. So maybe this result is maybe what they say is older children will show greater behavioral inhibition than younger children. It may go the other way. It's a prediction. It's not a factual. So hypothesis should be a prediction. It is not factual, and it is not 100% you need to achieve whatever the hypothesis. Maybe if you achieve like 50%, that is sufficient. 70% of hypothesis, if you achieve, that is sufficient. If you achieve 100%, that is very good. But no editors or no journal publishers reject based on the hypothesis, maybe based on your result. They won't reject. Okay. Then now the detailing the method section. The method section should be how to detail the method section. So for my research is, for example, my research, I am doing a social science research. It is involve data collection. So then now I need to provide the participant details, especially the methods, the demographic information. Describe participants, uh, how old the participants' age, gender, ethnicity, year in school, and marital status. Then data representation. Include relevant data such as percentages, mean, and standard deviation if needed. So this is very important when you write the method sections. If it's a social science related, science stream, it's a practical lab based data is involved. So they also include. For literature oriented or humanities oriented or language oriented people, they also involve this kind of example. For example, if you are teaching, if you are going to access how the bhasha is used, younger children, whether they use Bahasa Indonesian to speak with their parents or grandparents, or whether they use English. So if you research is involved like this kind of language based information, definitely you also need to involve this kind of data collection, this kind of questionnaire. So the methods are also involved. So in all field it's involved. So it is very important. Okay. Then design of the methods in design, type of study, specify the study design, such as whether you do data collection, whether it's involved in a lab situation kind of experiments, or whether it's involved with surveys, whether it involves interviews, whether it involves observation. Observation means you observe, you will call people or maybe a young child and you observe. So this kind of thing is involved. So design your research. Then you need to provide justification. Explain why this design is why exact this design was used for your research. Explain why the design was chosen to understand and evaluate your research. So why you choose this design? Why you choose this kind of study? Why you choose experiment? Then you have to justify. Why you choose survey? Then justify. Why you choose interview? This is by interviewing people. I am able to collect so many kind of data. So it is very important to interview population for my research. You have to justify the why you use this kind of surveys, why you use this kind of methodology. Then it is important measurements. What kind of measurements you use for your research? Include specific about the methods or surveys employed with recording, response and observation. For example, give examples of items in the measure such as questions from a questionnaire. You might have used a questionnaire to collect your data. So you need to give some kind of example samples into the methods section. Then procedure. So when you involve the research, you need to follow step-by-step process. So when you involve the step-by-step process, it should be accurately describe the study process. So how the data was collected, how the question was formatted, what kind of methodology you have adapted, how your research is completed. So you need to have step-by-step procedure when you involve research or when you write research papers. If it involves data collection. Okay, then presenting your results and a discussion. So this result section, data presentation is very important. Present only factual data. As earlier I said, when you do the method section, you only need factual data. You should not factual data or result. You should not interpret, or maybe you should not narrative. It should be 100% factual. If you collect any data, what are the data says, you need to give factual one. You should not alter it. Then discussion section, you should say hypothesis assessment and a significance of your result. So hypothesis assessment, you might have a hypothesis earlier. Assess whether the result support the hypothesis. Sometime it support 100%, it support. Sometime it support 50%, sometime it supports 75%. Then significance of result, explain the significance of this outcome. You might have achieved the result. So why this outcome is very important for your research. You need to explain why it is important, this result. So this should become in a discussion section. Then linking result to literature. My earlier we have reviewed the background literature, right? So now your result should link with your result. Based on this research, you need to link to the previous literature. So connecting to previous research, link the result to previously published background information. Then study limitation, mention the shortcomings while sampling, the design you have used and current procedure. These all should be elaborated. The the last step is enhancing research quality. How to enhance our research quality? So it is very, very important. Peer review is important. Peer review is important means, like I am a PhD student. I write my PhD thesis. So you should not directly go and give to your PhD supervisor. So what you need to do before going to submit your PhD thesis to your supervisor, what you can do, you may give to other PhD students of your batchmates, maybe your classmates, maybe your seniors. So to read the entire thesis and provide the feedback. So this kind of peer review is very, very important to 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 write best research papers, best PhD thesis. So that's why it's a peer review is very important when you are writing research papers, or maybe you involve in research. Ensuring credibility. Use reputable peer-reviewed outlets to bolster research caliber. So you need to read wide range of peer-reviewed journals and reputable journals uh, to bolster your research calibers and avoid bias. When you involve, for example, uh, for example, Indonesia is multi-ethnic, multi-religious country. So it's a majority of the people follow Islam. So when your research is involved with all kind of religious group, sometime yes, sometime our own religion, because maybe I follow Islam, and some kind of factual might disgrace my religion. So being a researcher, you should not remove any factual data from bias base. That's why they say reduce the likelihood of errors and non-verified data. So you should not be you, you should not be biased. You should not be researcher should not be a biased. So whatever the factual data say, whatever the factual results say, you need to provide accurately. So you should not use non-verified data, maybe modified data. So that's why the peer review is important. So it's then revising and editing your research papers. Clarity enhancement. Examine paper contents for clarity and coherence. Then content accuracy. Check facts and data points to verify accuracy. So this is the final statement. When you do the summary, you need to examine the paper's contents and for the clarity and coherence. Then the content accuracy. Check the facts and data points to verify whatever the narration you have given, whatever the elaboration you have given, you should verify with the data and make sure the data is aligned with accuracy. So this is very important. This is the final step. Then, of course, we wrote the research paper. We have adopted all this procedure. Our learning is not ending with just completing one research paper. Our learning, writing a good research paper, actually it's a continuous process. Learning is a continuous process. The same way we have to continue our learning because in order to survive in academic field, we need to have that kind of openness of continuing learning. So literature update, keep one's knowledge current, reading the latest research on topic covered. So this will help a good researcher to maintain their relevant, their contemporary, they are current in the knowledge of research field. Then skill development. Skill development is very, very important. The universities, the colleges, the schools, they provide academic support. They might provide academic knowledge. They might provide the discipline mannered knowledge, but we need skills to survive. To survive, in order to survive, we need skills. So skill development is very important. So in order to develop our skills, what we have to do, we need to adopt this kind of workshops, attend seminars and workshops frequently in order to refine research techniques. Because day by day, we are living in 21st century, and there are a lot many 21st century skills required. And after the AI came to in the field, and entire world has been changed. So we need enough skills to acquire knowledge and use that knowledge to write or do involve better research. So that's why we need a lot of skills. So for skills development, we need to have the openness of continue learning. Then this is a conclusion part. So conclusion part. So we need to say why this research, why the research is involved. Importance of rigor. Stressing importance of rigorous research is driving knowledge evaluation. Knowledge evaluation. That's what our Honorable Vice Chancellor said. Your Vice Chancellor, Vice Chancellor has already said it is very important that our university is involved with good research. They produce very good scopus-based, peer-reviewed, our students and lecturers, university professors, they publish in very good quality research, and it will help our nation building. So the same way, whatever the research is involved, it should stressing importance of rigorous research in driving knowledge evolution. It's not only knowledge evolution, it help build our environment, our cohesive environment. It helps our national building. It helps humanity. It helps it helps to keep us with good well-being. So that's why the research is very, very important. So thank you very much for attending this seminar. I think you guys have been waiting for almost uh, 1 hour 45 minutes, and hearing my dialect, my accent might be very difficult. You in uh, you in understanding my presentation. I apologize for that if for any inconveniences happen. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm very open to your question.
Well, thanks for the amazing material from Mr. Manifanan Murugesan. And of course, the material have been delivered, and we will open the discussion or question and answer session about how to write a scientific article, sorry. And but before that, I'm going to give a bit conclusion about the material for this evening, that it is important for concise, objective, and ethical research papers in advancing knowledge in the humanities and social science by focusing on clear structure, use of credible source, and careful revision. Researchers can improve the quality and impact of academic contribution. And for the audiences that want to give a question, please raise your hand, or you can write down on meeting chat. And I see here there are some
There are some
questions.
questions. There are
Yeah,
some questions. Uh,
from different people. So the first one is from Puspita Sari. So she has two questions here
okay,
about
and
how
interdisciplinary.
can interdisciplinary approaches enhance the study of human behavior and societal dynamics. And the second is, what are the challenges faced by researchers in the humanities and social sciences when it comes to data collection and analysis. And I will give the time to Mr. Mani Manifanan to give the answer of the question, please. Time starts.
I try my best to answer these questions. So we are living in of course, we are living in the AI world. So now AI is a very excellent tools widely available for any research. So what our question is focus how the interdisciplinary area is involved. How can interdisciplinary approaches enhance the study of human behavior and societal dynamics? There are two questions. The first I will focus the interdisciplinary approach, especially mostly the when you study for well-being based. It can be a well-being based. It can be a health or mental well-being or something anything else. So when it involves the well-being based research, it is very difficult to collect data, accurate data, because we believe that during the COVID time, the COVID-19 time, what happened? Many of the school childrens, we thought many of the workers, the civil servants, many of the university staffs, no one can go outside because of the curfew, because of the everyone has to stay at home. during the staying at home, all age people are affected. All age people are affected, whether it's a school children or whether it's working adults or whether it's older people. Everyone is affected. So when you when you involve like interdisciplinary based societal issues like mental well-being, the data, the research should focus different age groups, not only not should align with only one age group. It should be different age group. What kind of implications the school children has faced, that is one kind of research. Adult workers, what kind of challenges they face, and peoples those who are working in the medical stream, what kind of mental well-beings they are suffered, and older age people what kind of suffering. So it involves two different kind of three different kind of four different kind of research. If you only focus COVID has affected the human beings, and just I focus only mental well-being of common people. If you do this kind of research, then there is a demerit. There is a demerit. Your research data may not support. If COVID kind of situation affects, then it's very difficult for us to collect proper data, proper surveys, proper interviews. Some people, because it's a respiratory disease and it is spreading very fast, then this kind of situation, no one interested to provide interviews, no one interested to respond to your questions. So there is a challenge. Then the another challenge is the interdisciplinary research, two different field. For example, humanities and social science, there are two different field, and it is very hard to get two people involved. Two people involved with the two different interdisciplinary. There is a lack of communication. For example, I might be good in Tamil, maybe my English is not good. So if my English is not good, the social science researcher, most of them, they are very good in English. Most of the social science researchers, they are very good in English, but I cannot communicate clearly with them. So then myself, I will isolate. Being a humanities person, I myself, because I don't have any confidence in talking to the social scientists. So there is a gap. So this is the biggest disadvantage of involving interdisciplinary research. So I hope I have answered a question. The another question, what yes, yeah, what are
Okay.
the challenges faced by researchers in the humanities and social science when it comes to data analysis? Of course, it's data analysis definitely. If you have a business analytical person in your university, you take advantage, because usually the social scientists somehow they have a very good they can do the data analysis, but the humanities based people, they don't have enough knowledge of data analytics. So in that case, you might take advantage of utilizing the computer science based researchers, or maybe business analytical based researchers. Take their help and then acknowledge in your paper. It is very simple. Take help, acknowledge them. So they also will get anyhow you are going to get benefited. Then acknowledge whatever the work they have done. So this how we have to collaborate. These days, actually, we have to collaborate in order to do best research. That's why the interdisciplinary research is very important. Of course, there is a pros and cons of involving interdisciplinary research based on based on the skills, the expertise. Eh, Even before COVID in Singapore, before COVID, many people they thought interdisciplinary research has been done only by social scientists, maybe business analytical or computer science based or science based stream. But right now in Singapore, we have four official languages: English, Chinese, Tamil, and Malay. we all four speaking people are involved in doing research in medical area. So ever we never imagine that the medical stream is involved with the language based research. It is very important, especially the speech therapy. Many students, many babies these days, the speech therapy is very important because they don't speak until the age of 66 or 7. They don't speak, so they involve speech therapy in order to support the medical doctor. The language based instructors, language based teacher is very much involved, and they need to translate the data into their language. Then they translate into English, then they publish in the worldwide, and it reach public, and it helps humanity. It helps the human being to evolve. They maintain their well-being. Any more questions? I think Mr. Iqbal Nasir has raised his hand. Hi, Mr. Iqbal.
Yours.
Hello, Mr. How are you? Nice to meet
Hi.
you.
Oh,
I
next.
want to ask you about your slide. You read there right in third person. My question is, do you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. My question is, what will I do if I don't get the third person, but I get one person, just one person in research? I mean, in
In hypothesis, I think
research.
your question is hypothesis, right? If you are unable to achieve 100% of result, if I achieve only 1% of a result, whether it's appropriate me to publish a research paper, or whether it is applicable to write a paper. That's what your question, right?
Right.
Yes. There is no limit. There is no limit that you need to achieve 10%, you need to achieve 50%, you need to achieve 70%. Hypothesis is a prediction. It's assumption. It's a prediction. If it's even in science, experimental based, lab based research is involved. The observation has been involved. Even in the science stream, they are not able to achieve 100% result. So our research, especially humanities and social science, it's 100%. It is involved assumption based hypothesis. It is not necessary you need to achieve 99%. Even 1% if you achieve, that is more than sufficient, because you had a prediction, you had a hypothesis, you tried all your data, all your literature review, all your methods, all your discussion to achieve the result. So it is not necessary you need to achieve 100%. Even 1% is sufficient.
Okay, Mr. Maybe the second question.
Please.
Okay, my question, the second question, my second question is, in the abstract, according to the result, is that necessary I write in the abstract the result like in the conclusion, and what the difference in result from abstract and the conclusion? Thank you.
So when we it's very good question. Very good question. When in a abstract itself, if you provide the conclusion, then at the end, what kind of conclusion we are going to give? So actually, in abstract, if you complete the entire paper, then if you write your abstract, maybe you restructure your abstract, so definitely it will closely align with your conclusion. In conclusion, whatever the conclusion, the factual, the summary you have given, definitely it will align with the abstract. But usually when you submit for a conference, international conference, I don't think you are able to provide 100% of conclusion in the introduction part. Maybe I have this kind of hypothesis, I use this kind of methodology, I use this kind of discussion, I am able to achieve this kind of result. So the result maybe it's also associated with your hypothesis. It is associated with your assumption. It should not be 100% closely aligned with the conclusion you are going to give during your presentation day on the conference. It is not necessary. If you complete entire paper, then if you write the abstract, then you need to write short, maybe 1 or 2 sentences, exact the conclusion of your research. You need to write.
Thank
Sometimes
you
it
very much, sir.
vary. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, very, very good
Thank you.
question, Mr. Iqbal.
Thank you.
Okay, next question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
from
have
yeah, please.
Dea from Surabaya. So the first one is, what are the effective techniques for crafting a strong and engaging research title? The first and the second, are there any specific patterns or strategies for writing a compelling research background? And the third or the last, what strategies can increase the likelihood of research article being accepted by a reputable journal? So I'll give the time. Time is yours, sir.
Okay. Sylvia, can you repeat the first question?
Okay, the first, what
First.
are the effective techniques for crafting a strong and engaging research title?
Okay, it's a very good question. So, actually, whatever there is, each and every researcher or each and every PhD scholars, each and every person who is involved in academic, they have this kind of question: how to write good papers. Maybe that the titles they is asking for captivating titles for his research. So actually, there is no such captivating titles in the research field. So that topic should be based on the hypothesis of your research. You should not look the captivating title. So it should be focused on your interest first. The title should be focused on your interest of your research. Whether, for example, if you are in a language and a literature background person, if you want to study the second language usage for English language usage of school children, so your research is based on second language. So the second language, what are the when you do the background literature, the previously some research might have published. So if you look the title, actually it should that the title of the research paper actually should be based on hypothesis. So there is no such captivating titles. If you ask me honestly, there is no such captivating titles. I may propose and you sit and write. No, there is no. It is your own interest of your research field, and then your research in your the research involved of hypothesis. But when you use the term, especially if you need the captivating uh, title and the technical jargons, technical terms, when you use the technical terms, and that will be more attractive. When you use the technical terms and when you adapt the same kind of technical terms of your research titles, when you use in the even your introduction part, then the methodology part, then the conclusion part, you need to use the technical jargons. So that might help, like a language acquisition. If your research is involved second language acquisition, then the language acquisition, the language policy of the country, so you may involve that kind of technical jargons. I then the second question was, can you repeat, Sylvia, the second question?
Okay, the
Another
second question about, Are there any specific patterns or strategies for writing a compelling research background? Are there any specific patterns
Uh,
for research
Actually,
background?
yeah, I don't have any thoughts to share this one. So the third question.
The third question is what strategies can increase the likelihood of a research article being accepted by a reputable journal?
Okay, this is a very good question. So what do you mean the reputable journal? So actually, if you ask me, being a researcher, the reputable journal is actually no. The reputable journals uh, definitely they take no money from researcher. So if we have seen the how to write the best research paper. We have seen the methods, how to write the introduction, how to write the body of the paragraph, how to put the subheadings, how to write the discussion, how to write the meta knowledge, how to write the summary. If you follow this one, definitely you are able to publish in reputable journals. How to find the reputable journal is a very good question. How to find reputable journal? Reputable journal requires no fee to publish your research papers. Reputable journals, it's a blind review. It is involved peer reviewed journals. It involves double blind review. It's anonymous. So that is the basic easiest way to find a reputable journal. And when you write in like when you're most of us actually might have studied in like as a monolingual medium. For example, most of you guys might have studied in Bhasha medium. For me, I studied in Tamil medium. The medium of instruction for my school education is Tamil medium. You might have studied in Bhasha and the Nation medium. So actually you might not have very good language flow in. You might have good English, but you may not have a very good language flow. So in order to help the language flow, you may you may you may there is a professional editors. There is a professional editors. You may approach them for very good language flow to maintain language flow in your research papers. It's that is the best easiest way and best way to submit your research paper to the best research journals, reputable journals, because language should be very important. Reputable journals, if your language is very bad, maybe your idea very good, maybe your research is very good, but there might be a standard in language used. So in that case, you need to adapt best editors to edit your research papers. If you like to publish your papers in English, Bhasha Indonesian, I think you have a lot of resources. Even you can approach your supervisors to edit. That is more than sufficient. Okay, I think the there are two more people actually raising their hand. Hi, Mr.
Okay.
Masudi.
Hello.
Hi, please.
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Hi.
So for Mr. Masudi, you can give your question.
Oke, Mr.
Money. Just you call me
Manivan.
Money. Money. Just call me Money. Money is very easy to pronounce. So everyone need money. So just call me Money.
Manivanan, Dr. Manivanan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Please.
Yeah. And you come from India, maybe?
Yes. I'm from India, but
okay.
I work and live in Singapore.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you this evening.
Nice to meet you, sir. Please.
I will ask to you about something.
Please, sir. Please.
Yeah. What is your idea about hypothesis and predict? Yeah, include research. That is number one question. And then number two, yeah, what is important of research to our government? Yeah, I think enough to question this question.
Sorry, sir. the first question is regarding hypothesis. I did not get what you mean. Hypothesis?
Yeah, hypothesis and predict include research. Yeah. Are they same or different?
No, it's different. Two different.
Yeah.
Two different. The background of literature is too different. Hypothesis is different. Hypothesis is maybe hypothesis might be based on the previous research. Maybe someone said the previous research paper what you have read earlier. Maybe you might have read a book. Maybe you might have read a research paper. You might get some idea. Maybe the author of the previous paper, the previous article, he might have given the further study need to be done to know exact factual. So maybe you take the idea from there, then you can create your own hypothesis, then you can involve. But it is too different. Background of literature is why you need to give the background of literature is it is to differentiate how vary from the previous research and your research, how different from the previous research and your research. So it's definitely two different thing. Hypothesis is a different thing, but you can take the hypothesis from previous research article, maybe previous author. Yeah, it is possible, but it's too different. Okay, sir. Another question.
What is important of research in our country, maybe?
What is the important of? What is the important of?
Research.
Research is very important. In order, of course, yes. Our UNICEF Honorable Vice Chancellor has said he actually when he started actually at the beginning word itself he stressed it is very important to publish reputable, meaningful, helpful research to the community. The meaningful research helps. The academic actually helps. It helps the evaluation of human being. So it's evaluation of new knowledge, and the new knowledge. Then each and every research should support, and each and every research will help the humanity to grow further. And they utilize the research to build national building. National building means to evolve good atmosphere, good economical condition. So the each and every research helps us grow. Especially, it will help human to grow further. So at the beginning of before the aeroplane, the plane, the flight innovation. So they see the common people, they might have seen the birds. When they see the eagle, when they see the birds, and then there is a imagination into their thoughts. Oh, the birds is flying like this way, and we need to create this kind of the transport. That's how the plane, the flight has innovated. So it's imagination is very important. So that's the same way. The hypothesis is based on assumption. Same, it's based on prediction. So that's how our each and every research helps humanities. Okay, any more question? I think another person is. Hi, sir, please.
The last question.
Okay, Mr. Masudi, that's the answer.
Okay,
next person, Mr.
I think enough. Give a chance for us.
Okay, we still have one questioner from Pandra before we close the session for tonight.
Firstly, thank you for the time for me, and
please,
secondly,
sir, please.
Firstly, I would like to appreciate the presenting tonight from Mr. my brother from India.
Thank you, sir.
Mr.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's
Mr.
a pleasure.
Mugesan. Nice to meet you tonight. Secondly, my question consists of two questions.
Please, sir. Please. Please.
First, from the beginning until the last, hearing or listening you are presenting, but I'm still confused because the idea very complex. So can you make the easier, easier? Make a summary, the pointers. So these complex ideas for me is easy to understanding.
Okay.
Secondly, we know that all of knowledge, all of knowledge, based on academic or not, always relate with two major issues. First, value free and bond free. We know that there are two class of two paradigm, subjectively and objectively, and sometimes in the another words they call the ideology. How to make differentiate it? Which one knowledge bonded value free, and which one relate with ideology? Can you explain? Sir. Can you explain more than it? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Very, very good question. Very good question. Actually, I completely understand you because my presentation is not in a organized manner. That's why there is a confusion. If you might have attended at the beginning of this presentation, you could have got where I am coming. So it's basically my presentation is very simple. Very simple. How to write a research paper. So from introduction to conclusion. So especially my presentation is only focused on not scientific based research. It's based on humanities and social sciences. So at the beginning, I clearly state my background of my presentation and what are the steps I am going to present. So I will repeat for you. I will summarize for you. Writing a research paper in the field of humanities and social science requires a systematic approaches that emphasize critical thinking, thorough analysis, and clear articulation of ideas. These are the basic thing when you write a research paper, especially for humanities and social sciences. To begin, it is essential to select a compelling and relevant topic that not only plug your interests, but also contributes to existing scholarship. That's why we say we need to have a proper hypothesis, proper background of literature to support your topic. That's why it is essential to select a compelling and relevant topic of your research. Then conducting a comprehensive literature review is crucial. It helps to situate your research within the broader academic discourse and identify gaps that your work may address. There is a lack. There might be a lack that not all research might have focused your research hypothesis. That's why your research is very specific, very focused. So you need to find that clear thoughts of your research. What the aim of your research? Once you have established a solid foundation, develop a clear thesis statement that encapsulates the main argument of your paper. This statement should guide your research and writing process, ensuring that each section of your paper aligns with your central claim. Yes, you dropped your paper, pay careful attention to structure, typical, typically comprising an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. This is very important when you write a research paper. Each body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence that introduces the main idea. So then what is the main idea? The main idea should be hypothesis or maybe the topic of your research, followed by evidence and analysis that supports your argument. Then additionally, being an academic, anyhow, you are going to publish very reputable journals, maybe a very good journal, very good academic journal. Then you need to have proper citation of sources is vital to upload academic integrity and provide readers with the means of verify your claims. Whatever you say, if there is no citation, no reference, then how to verify? Or if verify the data, whatever you see, the whatever you state in your research paper, it may not be true. In order to support, you need to give the citation, bibliography, this kind of thing. Reference is very much important. So then finally, revise and editing your works is essential to enhance clarity, coherence, and overall quality of your research paper, ensuring that your research paper meets the rigorous standard expected in the humanities and social sciences. So this is the brief summary of my research. But why it made confusion for you? Because I actually my presentation is not in orderly manner because it's zigzag here and there it went, and it's kind of sometime it was repetition. That's why it was a confusion. I sincerely apologize for that confusion. But my idea of my presentation is very clear. This the just I summarize. These are my thoughts. Then you said there is a subjective and objective based kind of research, whether we need to be a subjective base or objective base. So it depends on the person, sir. Depends on the person who involves research. For example, if humanities based person might have ideology. They might follow religious ideology. They might follow the communist based ideology. So they might follow different kind of ideology. It depends on the person. So whether you need to be a subjective based researcher or objective based researcher, yeah, if you follow, it can be anything. Being a researcher, you should not be a bias. You should not be a one side person. Being a researcher is you need to maintain the academic integrity, academic standard. You need to be a open minded person. You need to welcome everything. My ideology, maybe I am a Marxist. Whatever I do research, maybe I am a language expert. I'm a literature oriented person. I should not be biased because of my ideology. So we should not be ideology based. Rather than we should be a scientific based, factual based person. Factual based research is very important rather than ideology. I don't say ideology is bad. Ideology is very important. It is important that you yourself discipline with that ideology. That is very good. Very good. When you live with the community, definitely it will help you to discipline. It will help the community to discipline. It will help the nation to discipline. Of course, it's welcome, but in the field of research, definitely this ideology-based research it won't help. It won't be helpful. It will be biased. It will be biased based on research. Any more questions?
Okay.
I Sylvia.
That's all the questions, sir. There is no question anymore
Okay.
because the time is already over as well, and we want to say thanks so much. Thanks a lot about the material that you already given to us about how to read an article, science, and we hope the audiences hope that the materials helpful for us.
I hope to. I am once again. I am sincerely apologize if my accent of English might have affected you to understand the presentation. I am sincerely sorry if my presentation slide might be not in the proper sequence, maybe not in proper order. I'm sincerely apologize. Hope you might have enjoyed my presentation. Feel free to provide any feedback. If you have any questions, please send to the coordinator, the organizer, maybe the moderator. I'm very much happy to share my knowledge. I'm very much open to see you guys. Once again, I am very much thankful to the initiate, especially Honorable Vice Chancellor, has spent his own time to come to this session, and he welcomed me. It's heartfelt thanks. It's touching me. It's touching my heart, uh, and touching the Indonesian people. I have good respect of my brother Indonesian people. Once again, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much for all students who have spent almost 2 hours listening my presentation. It's not easy. Being a student, it's not easy to understand sitting 2 hours and having so many thoughts in minds. I'm very thankful for attending this session.
Yes, sir.
I also
Okay,
want to
before
thank
close,
you.
let's to active our camera for take picture together. Okay.
Please, sir, please.
Okay.
Okay, for the audiences, please open the camera.
Okay, Prof. Manipandan. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I close this?
Your PPT. Okay.
Yeah, I'll close.
Please handle Mr. Butia.
Oke, jadi untuk peserta, for the participant, please open the camera. Silahkan dibuka kameranya because we want to take a picture together. Karena kita akan melakukan sesi foto bersama through this online, melalui forum online ini. Who want to take the picture, sir?
Okay,
Yes,
take
my
it
laptop
from yours. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The next slide.
The next slide.
Okay, make it your style. Okay. 1, 2,
Raise your
3. Okay, just 2 slide. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.